Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining for a 30-minute meditation. For this meditation, you are welcome to sit down on the floor. I like to have a little cushion under my butt so that my hips are higher than my knees. You can sit on a chair with both feet on the floor. You can lie down on your back. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position. And while you do that, because I know it sometimes takes a little while to get situated, while you're finding yourself in a comfortable seated position, I will just explain what meditation is and is not, at least from my understanding of it. So sometimes we think that with meditation, we have to look like this guy, my little Om Gnome, but actually you can meditate exactly as you are. There's no such thing as a good meditator or a bad meditator. There are simply people who meditate and people who do not. So for the sake of today, you are meditating, good for you. Another misconception about meditation is that it's the absence of thought. If you are able to not think about anything for 30 minutes, I'm so jealous of you. That is not my experience with meditation. Rather, I define meditation as compassionate mind control. So when you notice your mind starting to wander or you kind of lose track of where your thoughts are, you're just going to compassionately return yourself to my voice, to your breath, to whatever it is that we're doing. We're going to do some breathing techniques, some relaxation techniques, and some visualization techniques. Today, as you may know, is the new moon. So every month, right, we have a new moon and a full moon. So this is the beginning of a new moon cycle, which is often associated with the time for like planting seeds or looking ahead, or kind of popular word would be manifesting, manifesting what you want to see in the next month. Manifestation is not my favorite word, but this is a day, a time traditionally where we can kind of look ahead and plant seeds and decide what we want for this next moon cycle. All right, so hopefully you found yourself in a comfortable seated or lying position right now. If at any point how you're sitting or lying down becomes distracting, you're welcome to change how you're sitting or lying. Just notice the difference between changing how you're sitting because like your foot fell asleep and you're uncomfortable, right? Versus changing how you're sitting because it's uncomfortable to sit still. We're just going to practice a little bit of stillness. Okay, so I'm now going to light a candle as a symbolic gesture that we are entering into a more intentional space. So we're being intentional with our thoughts, with our breath, and with our body movements. You are welcome to close your eyes. If closing your eyes is distracting, you can keep your eyes open, but maybe do a soft fuzzy gaze just beyond the tip of your nose. So rather than looking at certain objects in your periphery, you're just allowing your senses to kind of turn off a little bit. Feel your sit bones rooted into the floor. If you're lying down, maybe just notice your head and shoulders heavy on the floor. If you're seated, again, just feeling your glutes on the floor. We're just slowly starting to come to our meditation space, to this compassionate mind control. Right away, start to notice what thoughts are playing across your mind. Could be like a task that you have to do after this, or something that happened earlier today, or maybe just a general feeling of like being anxious, right? Or whatever that is. And we're just gonna acknowledge those thoughts, name them, but we're not gonna assign judgment, right? We're just gonna politely put them aside. Our thoughts are like clouds. Sometimes they pass quickly, sometimes they stay all day. Sometimes they're white and fluffy. We might even make meaning out of them. Sometimes they're gray and rainy, even stormy. It's important to remember that you are not the clouds, you are the sky. So during meditation, you're gonna watch your thoughts pass, maybe your feelings as well, but you're just gonna remember that you're bigger than that. You're allowing thoughts, feelings to pass through you rather than attaching to them. And I often also think of meditation a little bit like, downloading your computer information onto a USB drive or uploading it to a cloud. So, if you do that every day on your computer, it doesn't take long. But if you only do it like once a month or once a year, right, it takes longer to download or upload those files. Same thing with the mind. If you only sit still with yourself like once or twice a year, there's a lot to download. So if you find that your mind is racing or you're feeling a little anxious, that's okay, right? There's no good or bad judgment assignment with that. Again, there's no such thing as a good meditator or a bad meditator. There's simply people who set time aside to be with themselves and people who do not. So for the sake of today, you're meditating, right? You're practicing this compassionate mind control. So we're just slowly entering into this more intentional space, being intentional with our thoughts as we let them pass, intentional with our breath, and intentional with our body movements. Notice if you might be fidgeting, and see if you can just still a little bit more. And throughout the meditation, if you notice just the same way that your mind might wander, if you notice your body starting to wander, that's okay. You're just going to compassionately bring yourself back. Draw your attention to your breath. Notice how your chest rises with the inhale, how your chest falls with the exhale. As you inhale, feel the skin across your chest gently lift. As you exhale, let your shoulders fall. Notice where you really experience your breath. Could be your abdomen or your chest. Maybe the space between your upper lip and nose or your nostrils. Maybe you really feel your breath in the back of your rib cage. There's no right or wrong. You're just experiencing your lungs expanding and contracting, body moving with every breath. On days where nothing is going our way, it can be easy to fall into that narrative that everything's working against us. When we just take a moment to return to our breath, we realize how very much is going our way at any given time, right? The breath is an automatic function. You don't have to think about it for your lungs to work. But when you do think about it, it's kind of miraculous. Not a miracle, but miraculous. Not magic, but it is magical. Breathing in, feel your ribs expand. Breathing out, feel your ribs contract. Inhale and exhale. We'll start with a breathing exercise called 4-7-8 breathing. You'll inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold the inhale for a count of 7, and then slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. So the idea is you'll inhale pretty quick. You'll hold that oxygen and let it circulate in your body, and then you'll slowly exhale for twice as long as you inhaled. This helps to calm our central nervous system, taking us out of a flight, or freeze response into a more relaxed state. It might take you a few rounds of 4-7-8 breathing to figure out the pace. If after a few rounds you are still having trouble breathing, switch it up. You can do like a 2-second inhale, a 3.5-second hold, and a 4-second exhale. So again, it might take you a couple of rounds to figure it out, but from there, if it's still constrictive, the general idea is you inhale quickly, hold that breath, and then very slowly exhale. Sitting up nice and tall or lying down. Relax your jaw. Seal your lips. And begin. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Pause and savor the inhale. Keep your shoulders soft. Slowly exhale. Breathe in for a count of 4. Hold the breath for 7. Breathe out for a count of 8. We'll do 2 more minutes of 4, 7, 8 breathing. Counting the breath in your mind will give your mind something to focus on. Exhaling slower than you inhale will allow the central nervous system to self-soothe. If you lose track, just return your thoughts to your breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. If your mind is wandering, gently returning the breath to the mind, mind to the breath. 4, 7, 8. Let's do one more round of 4, 7, 8 breathing at your own pace. Whenever you're ready, just return your breath to normal, in and out through your nose. For the rest of our meditation, if your mind ever starts to wander, you can just return your thoughts towards your breath. Maybe you gently tell yourself thinking, and then just return and notice your breath, or listen to my words. Just slowly starting to arrive in the here and now, in real time, in real space. It's normal for a certain sensation. It can be a sound or a sight, a feeling, a smell, a taste. It's normal for a sensation to come up during class. And if that happens and you notice that you're starting to tune in to, something you hear in your neighbor next door, or maybe something you're smelling like a candle, unless the smell is that your house is on fire, you're going to ignore those sensations, or you're just going to let them pass, right? Like clouds. If you notice yourself fixating on a certain noise, certain sensation in your body, just notice that fixation and then let it go, returning to your breath. Inhale and exhale. Meditation is a wonderful tool to cultivate creativity, imagination, rest, play, and focus. We use a visualization technique. Picture yourself in the middle of a forest, a warm, welcoming, inviting forest. It can be a forest that you've actually been to, maybe one that you've seen on TV, or if you'd like, you can create your own forest in your mind's eye. Especially as adults, we don't always get to use imagination or creativity, but taking time to visualize something as calming, as welcoming, as vast as a forest can help us be creative outside of our meditation as well. Sometimes when we try these techniques for the first time, it can be easy to maybe roll your eyes a little bit. Notice those knee-jerk reactions. I have them as well. Let go. Picture yourself in a forest that you've been to, maybe a forest that you've seen, or one that you're creating just now in your mind's eye. Picture yourself finding a place in this forest where you feel safe, calm, relaxed, and at ease. Imagine yourself sitting or laying down on the forest floor, earth below you, trees above you, sky above that. Feel yourself firmly rooted into the floor, into the ground, and let the ground, the floor beneath you, hold you up. Breathing in and breathing out. Today is a new moon. That means it's the most sliver of the moon. That also means that tonight will be the darkest night of the month. Moons have real world applications as far as gravitational pulls. So this is where the tide will be the lowest or the highest, depending on where you are. And sometimes, especially as we start to become more embodied, as we start to harness the mind-body connection, you might also really start to notice changes during the moon cycle or during a seasonal transition. Our time is changing on Sunday. So through these embodied practices, through sitting with our breath, through just sitting with ourselves and enjoying our own company, we might become a little bit more attuned or aware to changes in things like moon cycles, high tides or low tides, seasonal transitions, changes not just in temperature, but in air pressure as you breathe in and breathe out. New moons are considered times to plant seeds, to reflect, and then to plan for the month ahead. Let's take a moment of reflection. The moon cycle takes about a month, like 29 and a half days. So let's take a moment here to reflect on the last month, everything that's happened since the last new moon, the good, the bad, the ugly. Just taking a moment here to reflect on the last month. As you reflect on the last month, notice if certain emotions or sensations come up, maybe a particular memory or event that has transpired. Notice if you are attaching to that memory or that feeling, and instead you're just going to sit with it and observe it. Sometimes when we feel sad or angry, we have a tendency to say, I am sad or I am angry, rather than I am experiencing sadness or anger. If you had a broken bone, you would not say, I am broken. You would say, I have a broken bone. If you have eyelashes, you don't say, I am eyelashes. You say, I have eyelashes. Some of us, when we have fat on our body, say, I am fat rather than I have fat. Notice what things you attach to, what things you allow to pass through you, a memory, an experience, a sensation, and then what things you really identify with. And the things that you're closely identifying with, see if you can just let them pass through you instead. Just allowing the last month to pass through you like clouds in the sky. Breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes the hard or not fun things that we go through are our greatest teachers, and they do have a purpose, but it doesn't mean that we have to wallow in them. If there's anything that you've experienced in the last month that is no longer serving you, this is an invitation to let it go, or just to thank it for its life lesson, but to no longer attach or identify with that experience, that feeling, that sensation or memory. You can thank that thing for what it's shown you or taught you, and just imagine yourself letting it go, like a leaf floating down a river or a cloud passing through the sky. Breathing in and breathing out. Looking to the month ahead, to this new moon cycle, this is your opportunity to plant seeds, to be intentional with what you would like to attract and what you would like to deflect. Looking to the month ahead, what are your highest visions for yourself? This could be an action or a goal. Can also just be a word or a phrase that you would like to dig into more, like being more compassionate or more patient. Or looking to the month ahead, you could really want to focus on a proposal you have at work or a relationship that you'd like to mend. There's no right or wrong answer, and it can be a specific goal or just a general thought or quality that you would like to cultivate. And now is the time to plant those seeds, breathing in and breathing out. As you think to the month ahead, this next moon cycle from today, the new moon, all the way to the full moon and back. Notice if you're having any attachments to your goals, what you'd like to cultivate, what you want to plant seeds for. Notice if any negative self-talk is creeping in, like, oh, that's not realistic, or you can't do that. You're just going to set that judgment aside as well. This is a simple brain exercise. It's a meditation. There is no need to talk to yourself negatively or tell yourself that what you want, your deepest desire, is not within your reach. This is an opportunity to be bold, to be creative, imaginative, compassionate towards yourself, truly boundless. There's no consequence to it, right? This is just a meditation. So whatever it is that you'd like to plant seeds for, even if it seems impossible right now, this is an invitation to really cultivate that without reservation, expectation, or judgment. Breathing in and breathing out. Whatever your deepest desires are, your deepest longings, maybe the things that you don't feel comfortable telling others, that's okay. You can just speak them to yourself right now in the safety and privacy of your own home, in the beautiful imagination of you in a forest planting seeds, with the earth below you, tree roots below that, trees above you, blue sky above that. Breathing in and breathing out. Hold this desire, this longing, whatever it is that you wish to cultivate in your heart space, and know that it's just for you. You don't owe anyone else an explanation of it. You don't even owe yourself an explanation of it. Whatever it is, you're just allowing it to take root without judgment, without expectation. Just planting seeds. This summer in the DC area, we will experience a lovely bloom of cicadas, which I'm not particularly looking forward to, but they are 17 years in the making. So whatever it is that you're planting seeds for in your own life, remember that it doesn't necessarily have to happen within the next month. It just matters that you've been open and honest with yourself about what it is you truly desire or long for. Breathing in and emptying out. Anything that you feel is holding you back, again, it can be negative self-talk, can be a relationship with yourself or with someone else, can be a habit or a lack of a habit, anything you'd like to let go of in the next month. This is an invitation to let that go, or at least plant that seed of letting go without the need to explain it to anyone, to justify it, whatever it is that's coming to your mind. This is an invitation to let go of what no longer serves you so that you have the capacity to cultivate who you are on the inside and what it is you want and need at this time. Breathing in and breathing out. Anything else you would like to say to yourself, maybe a loving affirmation, or just an acknowledgement that you're here, that you're breathing, that you're alive. And say that to yourself now. And then just for a moment, picture all of the clouds, all of the thoughts, the feelings, the worries, the cares. Picture them clearing for just a moment so that you're left with empty sky, Nothing but your true essence, who you are on the inside. Breathing in and breathing out. You are welcome to stay in this meditative, clear sky space for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, I will count us down from 3, at which point you can open your eyes or make any other movements that tell you that it's time to shift consciousness. You can also just take a nap. Breathe in through your nose. Let go through the exhale for 3, 2, 1. I am now going to blow out this candle as a symbolic gesture that our meditation time is coming to an end. And I am letting the very real smoke clear the air as a reminder that when we are intentional with our thoughts, our breath, and our body movement, we quite literally change the space around us and our understanding and interaction of the space around us. Happy new moon. Have a wonderful Friday.